got heavy hands, there's no doubt. He doesn't have to land particularly, like with a great deal of wind up, and he can really put somebody out. But his grappling is really what is his strong suits. The fight that I keep coming back to, which really impresses me with Gilbert Burns, is him against Damian Maia, and the knockout we'll look at in a second. The ground exchanges where he was able to get himself into better positions to scramble caused Damian Maia all kinds of problems, and most people can't deal with his grappling. You've got to think what Damian Maia does to most people. Gilbert Burns was able to hold his own, which says a lot. He likes to be in a dominant position, but as the people scramble out of those dominant positions, he then follows and chases and submits them. Now, we saw this more when he was down at lightweight, and this might be a bit of a signifier to the strength difference between the two weight classes. Because what Gilbert Burns could do to guys that step on the scales at 155, and I'll probably walk him back in the octagon 165 plus a couple of pounds, maybe a bit more, but like you're talking about someone that is not going to be much above 170 coming back into the fight against him. Against Chimaev, who will step on the scales at 170, will most likely come back in well above 180. And he's also a bigger dude. He's got longer arms. He's taller. He's just a physically bigger individual. He might not be able to do this to him. He might be able to crack him with a big shot. We do know that Gilbert Burns has got power. He might be able to sweep him and scramble and find himself in these positions. It may only be momentarily. But why is it momentarily if he gets himself into these positions? Because we don't expect him to hold Chimaev down. So imagine for a moment if he's able to sweep and put Chimaev on his back just for a second, and Chimaev scrambling back, and then Gilbert Burns starts his attack. Because they're the moments when he's going to catch you. He's not gonna catch you by putting it on you. It's you watch his fight against Usman. Every time he initiated the attack, he was paying for it. Often it's when his opponent is escaping or when they're attacking is when he's able to capitalize. Watch what I'm saying here. So this is Christos Giagos, who's doing a very good job of walking himself up the fence by utilizing his toes in the fence. But he runs himself up the fence and he bumps over. Now at this point, a lot of fighters will scramble because they don't want to find themselves in a bad position. But what we see Gilbert Burns do is we see him collect this arm. So he's collected that arm, and we're also going to see him drop this leg here across the back of the neck of his opponent. That's going to give him some leverage to control their movement. There it is. And then as the motion continues, you'll see Gilbert Burns, he's going to drop, he's going to fire his right knee across and further gather that arm. Now you can see the arm of his opponent's here now. And then as his opponent rolls over to try and get out of this, he catches the leg to slow it down. Giagos does a good job of trying to sit up, because what he doesn't want to do is let Gilbert Burns extend this leg over the head, and then he can finish that armbar as it is. Giagos does a really good job of sitting up. So the reason I'm making a point of this is because none of these are ideal circumstances. None of these things that happen here are ideal. Mount, lovely. But then he starts running up the fence. That's not ideal. But I'll gather an arm and I'll catch him on the back of the head. But then he starts to roll through. That's not ideal. But I'll catch a leg and slow him down. And then he rolls through. And he sits up. I can't get my leg over the head, but I have to fight for it. And he does. And he brings his legs up even higher and clamps down across the arms, because he's also now breaking the grip of Giagos. Lovely work. And then a full pull breaks the grip, and there's the armbar, and it's 100%. Look at the bend in that. He's trying to take it home with him. This is example after example. Here's the other angle of it. So he's trying to get the arms over. He's trying to get the leg over the head, and Giagos is sitting up and maintaining the grip. But the pressure from the legs of Burns breaks the grip. Right? This is the grip I'm talking about. It's very difficult to see. It's Giagos holding on to his own wrist here, but the pressure that's coming down on his wrist from the legs of Gilbert Burns is what forces this to happen. It breaks the grip, separates the arms, leaves the vulnerable limb. There goes the grip. Leaves the vulnerable arm in control of the person that's trying to finish it. And it breaks, and he goes straight to the hand. Straighten. Locks that out. Still got the hand caught in as well for the moment. And that is about as twisted as as an arm can get. You know it's bad when they're tapping with their feet as well. Again, consistent. Here he is again. Almost identical situation. At this point, he actually sits up to try and force a position. Tries to go to triangle. But Oliveira's wise to it. He gets his arm inside. You can see he's got this arm in. So now he can't finish the triangle. Not ideal. He's losing this position. He lands a few strikes and Oliveira bridges. But he's got this arm still. You can't see it here, but it's around the back. You can see the hand there. He's got that gathered. He's also got a good cap on the back of the head as well. So when he does start to fall off, he's going with him. Catches the arm. Very Andre Muniz style. One of the middleweights I'm most excited about at the moment. Did this similar thing to Jacare. Fell off the back, actually. And snapped his arm in the process. But look at this. He's got it. And he's got the feet crossed there, so he's got some control. And now his focus then becomes this arm of Oliveira. Oliveira jumps over again. Not ideal. He gets out of the armbar. He goes back to a triangle. Locks it up. I mean, I love the adjustments of it because it's never perfect. It's never ideal. It's never a textbook setup. But when you've got jiu-jitsu like this, you figure it out. Look at that. Catches the leg again. And then there he is. Rolling over. Loses the arm again. Replaces. It is very, very slick jiu-jitsu because it's making do in situations that aren't doing very well. I'll give you one more example. Body triangle. Łukasz Sajewski. This was a good long while ago, this one was. Look at that. Look how he goes from one side of the head to the other. So he's around the side of the head here, he's controlling. Then all of a sudden that's going to drop to the other side and he's going to focus entirely on the arm. He gets clamped onto the right arm of Sajewski, lets go of the body triangle, and throws his leg over, pries him down. And then he uses his legs again to break the grip, look. And there's the armbar. And again, he's trying to snap that thing. He's not playing about. Like, there's three good examples. Different to do it against a lightweight, of course, than it is against a welterweight. Different, again, to do it against Chimaev, of course. On the flip side, Gilbert Burns, catching people overextending, like he did against Damian Maia, is the thing that I'm most watching out for when it comes to striking. So, like, it's very similar to the grappling range. The moments where he creates a scramble is where he's going to be able to attack submissions. Those moments will be fleeting and they'll be very, very difficult to catch. But if anyone can do it, Gilbert Burns is one of those guys. Same thing when it comes to striking. Now, this is Damian Maia from a southpaw stance throwing a jab. But an overextended right hand from an orthodox fighter could work very similarly. And Burns has got wicked counter punching. He's much better when his opponent comes to him. And his timing of this was really nice. So you see Damian Maia step forward with that jab, and Burns just drops his head to the side and comes right over the top. It's not even really a hook, because at the point when it comes around, it looks like a hook in this position, but then it goes very straight to the chin. It's a really nice punch that he's got and drops all of his weight. Look how he readjusts his front foot. Watch how his front foot readjusts. He stomps and turns into that punch. Beautiful. Really, really nice. See it from the other angle here. So Damian Maia fires out his jab. Bang. I mean, that is a clean punch right on the chin. There's no reason why we can't see Chimaev clip with one of these shots. It might not knock him out. It might knock him down. It might put him in a position where he's vulnerable to submission attacks. Again, it's going to be incredibly difficult. There are going to be circumstances where it's not ideal for Gilbert Burns. He's most likely going to be taken down. He's going to be on his back. I have to give his jiu-jitsu enough credit to be able to create a scramble. That's all he needs to do. If he's tied up and he's clamped down, it'll be a TKO finish for Chimaev. If Burns is able to keep his wrists free and keep the fight moving, there might be moments where he can scramble to the back of Chimaev. He might be able to mount him for a split second. He might be able to attack an arm for a split second. And in the process of Chimaev scrambling out, those limbs might be available for him. Like, this is a decent jump up, this is. The Leech is a tough individual. Gerald Meerschaert is like a litmus test for the middleweight division. He's no disrespect by this, but he's a journeyman. That's the role that he plays. He's a gatekeeper in the middleweight division. An ideal person to throw Chimaev in there against. Gilbert Burns offers a couple of different things. He offers a really skilled ground game. He also has got very heavy hands. it's the moments where Chimaev becomes vulnerable, as opposed to what Chimaev does to everybody else, which is just forces them to be vulnerable for the whole time.